everybody, and welcome to Tech Talk 4. So the subject today is levels, the different levels that I've used in building Mistress. There's been 3 level systems that I've used. The first is the spirit level. Most people would be familiar with the spirit level, otherwise known as a level. The plumb bob, which I'll talk more about of course, and recently the laser level. I will also speak a little bit about the history of the levels, in particular the plumb bob, which I had to research myself. So perhaps I'll talk about the plumb bob first, given that it's the oldest form of level. The term plumb bob comes from the Latin word for lead. The chemical symbol for lead is Pb. The Latin word for lead is plumbum. So originally, those who discovered the principles of a plumb bob were using lead for the weight, which was hung from a string in order to provide a vertical line. The plumb bob is a very old tool, in use since apparently the ancient Egyptian times and possibly before. And it's been in use since those times. It's a very simple tool that has helped builders of all manner in the centuries since then. So I've used the plumb bob for many purposes, from the framing, where I had to get all the frames set up vertically on the datum line of the plans, and also in regards to getting the coach roof frames all lined up correctly. So very, very useful. I'll actually demonstrate the use of that shortly. The next level that I'll talk about is the spirit level. A relatively recent discovery actually. Only in the 1700s it was discovered apparently by a French gentleman, and obviously expanded since those times. It's principally used by builders of all manner and form, but its use and utility can be used for many, many things. And once again, I've had the use of the spirit level for many, many things in building Mistress and the building process. The third level device is the laser level, which is a recent invention, apparently only developed in the 1970s, but only really permeated the building industry in the 1980s. That's quite recent. This device, as can be seen from a prior video, I've had a lot of good use of this in starting to build the timber work, and I will be using this a lot going ahead. So they're the 3 levels that I have used in the building of Mistress. So what I'll do now is just set this plumb bob up and show people how that is used. I have fishing line on this at the moment. It's a little easier to store and takes up less room, and obviously is strong. So that's what it looks like. And obviously the length of line attached to it can be anything that you need. This one's quite fancy. It has a screw-in section that the line can be fitted to. So it's actually quite user-friendly, this one. A proprietary device, in other words, something you can buy in a shop. However, really, a plumb line could be made from a piece of string and a bolt or a nut or a piece of lead, a fishing weight, anything really. It works by gravity, so by suspending the weight by the line, you end up with a vertical line. So what I'm going to do by demonstration, I've just passed the line through this hole in the frame above, which should be at or very close to the centre line. That's what it should be. And we'll see where the plumb bob falls to regarding the centre line of these two bits of rosewood which are forming the beams for the V-berth. So here's the line going through that hole, pre-drilled. I just adjust the height so that the plumb bob is not touching anything. So here's the line tied off. Here's our plumb bob, and there's our point. That's fairly close. I would estimate within 5 millimetres of the middle of those two beams. So that's not bad. So there's the plumb bob in use, and as I say, I've used that for many things to transfer a vertical line within the boat and outside with the framing. Very, very useful. Just a little tip when using the plumb bob. When you are connecting the end of the line, you'll find that the line will be wandering around all over the place, especially the higher it is that you're suspending the line from. The line will be moving around a lot. It's quite a lengthy time to wait for that to settle down, especially in using a very heavy weight like this one. So a little tip, just put your fingers either side of the line to take that momentum and velocity out of the line. And that way you can calm that plumb bob down to find the point that you're looking for. And so to demonstrate the spirit level or level, I'm sure this is very, very obvious for most people, but just for those that it might not be. There's different windows on the level which show a liquid with a bubble in it, and that bubble will sit at the horizontal level no matter what. There's windows in different positions, in other words, little tubes in the window which are at different levels. So for example, this bubble will still read horizontal, but now the level is vertical. So by placing the level on a vertical surface, you still get to use a horizontal bubble to see whether that line is vertical. There are two lines on the tube, and when that bubble sits between those two lines, it shows that the surface that you're trying to line up is vertical. So by placing the level on a surface, for example, this is level, and so it should be. However, if it wasn't, let's say this end was a bit higher. By lifting the level at this end, you'll see the bubble move to the left, which shows that this surface is not horizontal. And then by adjusting that end, you can get that bubble to sit between two lines which determine the horizontal point. I hope that that was simple and clear, but as always, if not and you'd like more information, feel free to send me a message in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Tech Talks video.